fix the stuff. So, yes, it always goes down when you need it, but guess what? You can't hit a button and somebody shows up and fixes your problem.
All right, kids, we're on here. We're going live now. I cannot give you any certainty, any guarantee be able to make it throughout the show.
Hey, who's bootleg?
We are bootleg.
I'm not even in the picture.
Well, you are live on your business.
We are live. So, hey, everybody, thank you so much for coming on here. It is Wednesday. It's Real Estate 101. We're a little late. Hey, we're I don't want to get it so far away where they can't see us, they can't hear us. So you ain't fixing
Ryan Denny, thank you. Jamie Stillman, thank you. We're getting it all straightened out. I moved over closer. There we go.
Hey, he's sitting in my lap now. All right,
there's
everyone.
a guy to ask.
Hey, can I ask you a question? What can we do to solve this Real Estate 101 problem?
Internet.
Internet.
Make a studio.
Make a studio?
Dedicated studio.
Dedicated. So what would that look like?
That would look something like this with a computer stuck in it that always stays there and is only for that.
There we go. Just like I said.
So what will we do with Comcast?
It's either Comcast. You just have your own designated line to that computer like you're talking about. It's not shared. It's just one designated home run to that part.
Who do we need to?
Nathan Sanders, thank you.
Nathan, Tori Ray, hey everybody, thank you for getting on here. We're about to get started right now. We apologize. Man, my computer is going crazy. Is it just me or is it
Man, it's the topic. It's this topic. They don't want us talking about it.
He's got 9 people watching.
No, people have been on here, but I'm telling you.
No, I'm just talking about it's just such a good topic, man. It's just causing glitches everywhere.
That's what it is. Carrie Ann Sears on here, Sam Swift's on
Carrie
here.
Ann
Derek Godwin
Sears.
liked it. Hey, we appreciate you, Derek Godwin.
Hey, thank you for lunch, buddy.
Thank you for lunch today.
Hey, you're my new best friend. I'm going to steal you from Tommy. I'm going to send you a Valentine card.
So, Weatherman, who do we want to give a special shout-out to today?
Today, we want to give a special shout-out to Iberia Bank, Nathan Sanders, Belinda Arender, hey, and all the guys.
Jamie
Stillman, Candy,
Brian Neal.
Rhonda, Brian Neal, all the guys over there for continuing to go the extra mile to help us, support us, be there for us. We definitely want to thank you so much for all you do. Our business would not make it without you. So thank you so much for all you do. I know a lot of times we don't tell you thank you, but we really, really, truly do appreciate you. Nathan Sanders, we can't thank you enough. You continue always go out of your way to come by and talk with us, ask us questions, and thank you just for being a genuine good guy. We appreciate you.
So today, so before we get started.
Oh, Derek Godwin, you put Derek Godwin to sleep.
Is it me or the food, Derek Godwin?
Food.
Hey, please please comment, ask us questions. I don't even mind if it's a bad comment. Throw something at us. And if you'll share, we're going to go back and we're going to pick one winner to have dinner or lunch at the Alley on Main. Stevie, you might get tired doing that. You don't have to do that. But we do appreciate it. But, hey, also, Kathleen put a post out, why are buyers so reluctant to committing to an agent? I appreciate everybody that commented. BJ Dawes, Scott Layden, Travis Brown, Melissa Getz, Kim Neese, Tinsley Preston, Anthony Murphy. There were some great responses on here, so I really do appreciate you taking the time to comment on there. It means a lot to me. And if you've got any question, where is Cousin Charlie? Has anybody seen Cousin Charlie? Hey, Weatherman, you can't. Hey, we can talk to him right now. So, is he working a lead right now?
Yes, he's asking for a referral.
I wonder if they're committed. Are they going to commit? So, hey, here's today's topic, Weatherman. Why are people so scared to commit to an agent before they start looking for a house? I've got 5 things you need to know, 5 reasons why they don't. Can you tell me one reason why somebody?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you one of the number one main reasons.
Tell me.
They do not a lot of times realize that if you're a buyer's agent, you're free. So they don't understand the parameters of what it means. Uh-oh. We'll be right back. Technical difficulties. That was such a good answer. I just...
I'm waiting for it to fall. I'm going to watch it.
Boom.
Hey, we're back. We
We're
crashed.
back.
Steve, do you mind holding that?
But a lot of times, a lot of buyers, if you're in real estate, you automatically think everybody knows what you know. And it doesn't matter if it's real estate, car sales, you work at a clothing store, if you're a photographer, if you sell tires, we automatically think other people know. So a lot of people don't understand that, we're professionals, we work. If you're a buyer's agent, then, hey, it doesn't cost you anything. And a great selling agent, a lot of times will make you more money than you could ever thought you imagined. So a lot of times there's just so many unknowns, and that's why they're so reluctant to hire an agent. I don't think it's, and I know you're going to have one of them with internets and all those things. I think there's a big lack of knowledge when people start buying, because people don't buy houses every day. And so most time when somebody buys a house, you may buy one or two houses over the career of your lifetime. So you just don't know about the what goes on in the transaction. And a lot of times they're fearful of what they're going to find out. Hey, I can't buy it, man. My credit's jacked up. I got to put my mama's name, stuff like that.
Hey, I appreciate the comments. Ryan Denny, is this Real Estate 101 or Bloopers Greatest Hits?
Bloopers.
It is. It's a complete shit show today, and it's my fault. I'm taking full responsibility. Rebecca, did you know? Does she know? Did Rebecca respond to us?
She did not.
Rebecca, you didn't watch that video. You need to go back and watch that video. David Estes, thank you for getting on here. So, hey, here's my question. I feel like if I am a professional and I want the best advice I could possibly get, I'm going to interview people, and I'm going to pick one person that's going to help me. If it's an attorney, if it's a doctor, if it's a financial advisor, I'm going to go and I'm going to interview people.
All right, let me ask you a question. When you bought them fancy shoes you got that guy made for you or had ordered for you, did you interview shoe people?
No, that's a good point, Weatherman. But these shoes were $300. Hey, $3,000.
Hey, but did you interview shoe people? Did you go to Rack Room Shoes? Did you go to Shoe Carnival? Did you go to Finish Line?
Well, let me tell you what I did, okay? Because that is a good point. I do think people will buy spontaneously. Okay. That's something I want to talk about. But Ethan is somebody that came around, and I had started a relationship. I started buying things from him. So he earned a lot of confidence with me. I really valued his opinion. Right. I did not buy something from him until I interviewed him. I did interview him. He came in and I told him, hey man, I ain't buying nothing today. I probably would have. So hey, anytime if you're a salesperson and somebody says, I ain't buying nothing today, Kathleen, I can get you to buy something.
So everybody out there that has kids and you're selling cookies and wrapping paper at Christmas, come see this guy. This guy right here.
All right, 5 reasons. Let's get started. Everybody, Zach Messer, Missing Night, Brian Nell, please comment. Please like. I'm going to look to see, have you shared the stream? Number one reason why people do not want to hire a real estate agent, and I think somebody posted this already. Many of their friends are realtors. They're confused on who to hire. They might be scared to hire somebody. They don't want to make Weatherman mad. They don't want to make Stevie Zavisa mad. They don't want to make Sam Swift mad. So what they do is they don't make a decision. And this is the biggest decision you're ever going to make until you buy a bigger house. How many times are you going to go out and spend or invest $250,000, $300,000, and you're not even interviewing people to find out who's the best because you're scared you're going to hurt somebody's feelings. You're scared that somebody might say something about you, and I feel like you're doing that wrong. I feel like you should sit down. It's your money. I'm not saying pick me or Weatherman or Stevie or Sam. I'm saying you should sit down with somebody and you should interview them just like you would if you're going to talk to an attorney, a doctor,
or a
shoe man. You should. Hey, you are getting a free service if you're buying a home, but I still think you should qualify people, and you should not feel guilty about hiring the best person for the job. Do you agree, Stevie Zavisa?
I agree.
Do you agree 100%? Are we 100% in agreement? So,
I have
Okay.
to throw a little nugget in there.
go ahead.
I do think that there are a lot of people that are very, very good in their field, but I do feel like when you're involved in this dealing together, there also has to be some chemistry. There have to be some like gravitates to like. We learned about that this morning. So, hey, I may have some financial advisors may be a lot smarter than I am, but talk to me a certain way that we don't mesh together. So when you're talking about interviewing, there's a lot of things, in my opinion, to go into that. I definitely think you need somebody that has the expertise, that knows the market, but I also think there is something there about having like minds as well.
Hey, Kathleen.
Oh, sorry. Watching the
All right. Hey, Weatherman, I appreciate you. I will bring up my points, and you're more than welcome to challenge, counterpoint, whatever you want to call it.
What do you think about that? Do you agree or disagree?
I'm going to be honest. I was so busy worrying about what I was going to say next.
You just zoned him.
But I think people do that. I think most people won't admit that. Brittany Renee just joined. She'd tell you, see, baby, Weatherman was talking to me, and I didn't hear one damn thing he said.
He didn't pay attention.
I don't need, Kathleen, could you tell me what he said?
No, but he sure knows a lot of
Well, I think
Yeah.
I heard you say something
pretty
about
it pretty much means that you have to have some
chemistry.
kind of
You got to
similar
connect.
chemistry.
You got to connect. Okay,
You know.
I agree with that. Number 2, and in college football and all other sports standings, you can tell who the best is. In real estate,
Not Notre Dame.
they're number 3. They're on their way to number 1. My mama joined. Number 2, people don't know who the best is. There's an uncertainty of value. They don't know how this person could be better than this person. They don't know. We don't have a chart. We don't have. What are you writing down with?
Oh, I got a good one for you.
Do you?
Yeah.
So people don't know who is the highest rated agent. Because just because somebody does the most business does not mean they're the best agent for you. And let me, before we go on any further, I want you to know this. Our Butch Jones, I want you to know this. Just because somebody might be the best for one person does not mean they would be the best for you, because of like what Stephen is saying. I want people that really appreciate my business. I want people that feel like that chemistry that he's talking about. I really want to feel value. Stevie, what did you just post?
Well, it was blurry on mine too, but it straightened out and got sharp.
Yeah, well, I look blurry on mine. So, Weatherman, go ahead.
Well, the main thing is, so let's talk about classifications of what does it mean to be the best. Everybody always thinks it means to be the best if you sell the most houses. Well, guess what? Chances are, if somebody sells the most houses, the reason they're one of the best because they have a great team. If you're selling 300-400 houses a year, you're not selling 3 or 4 houses by yourself. So chances are you have a great team that would make you the best. You may not fit in with the head guy at all, but they have a process and procedures that may work for some people. You may take Stevie Savisa that sells 1.6 houses a year, but love the way he treats you.
It might be
Hey.
100 points. Who knows? He might sell 50 houses.
But it's just the way that he treats you. You're number one. He answers your phone call. He responds. He communicates. And to that person, he is the best.
What happened?
I agree.
You know, it's totally on your characteristic. And I'll be real honest with you. I could sell 20 houses a year. I'm not going to put my number out there. Let's just say I sell 20 houses a year. If an engineer, and I had lunch with the engineer today, and this was a different exception, an engineer and me may not get along, only because of attention to detail. And I'm very good at the talking and communicating and being your buddy and knowing the knowledge. But when it comes down to certain things, there's different characteristics in people. Now, hey, if you want to laugh and buy a house and be excited and have fun, and man, it's the best experience of your life, I'm your guy.
The Weatherman is your guy. So what I am not saying is go out and pick the agent that does the most business, because that might not be the best fit for you.
Right.
I believe, though, to find the best fit for you, you should sit down. You should owe it to yourself to sit down and interview these people.
I agree.
Don't just go based off of what you're seeing or who does the most business. Number three. This is really what I think it comes down to. Man, you got all kind of friends today. Damn with it, man. Number three. People out there do not value a real estate agent's advice. It has become a do-it-yourself world. I can go into YouTube, I can go into Google, and let me tell you what most of the consumers think out there right now. They think the hardest part of the transaction is selling the house. The hardest part about the transaction is once we get it under contract. Well, actually, it starts from the minute you negotiate to the day it closes. That's where you need a professional. Anybody can sell a house, but what about all the steps that you're not aware of? YouTube cannot. Every deal is different. I've done close to 1,000 transactions. Okay, I have never seen one transaction the same as the other one.
You're amazing.
I'm the greatest. But what I'm saying, there is no way to study to know how your deal is going to go, because people react different in every situation. There's so much emotion. Do you know what happens whenever you're led by emotional decisions?
You make dumb decisions.
You do make dumb decisions. So if we are two people trying to make a deal work, I'm emotional, you're emotional, it becomes a mess.
Yeah.
It's very hard to execute a transaction without two professionals. I don't even like to do a deal if I'm only one professional trying to represent both sides or representing a for sale by owner. Carry on with me.
Carry on. I'm sorry, I zoned you out.
Did you listen?
I zoned you
That
out.
was a bunch of boring fluff I was giving.
Yeah. I just.
Well, what I was saying is they don't value your advice. They really don't.
Yes, I agree totally.
Do you?
Yeah.
Or you just try to make me feel like I'm the greatest?
What I was going to say, and I just want to mess with Tommy, is through this transaction, there are a tremendous amount of moving parts. And I could have a client, and we hit it off great. I get them the house. I negotiate the deal. They're happy. And then for the next 30 days is a total hell because I don't get the paperwork turned in. I miss the deadline on inspection. I forget about meeting you at the walkthrough. And all these types of things. Then next thing you know, I forgot to tell you, the refrigerator ain't staying. And so you look to me to be that expert, yet we hit it off so good off the front end, but that is just a very, very small part of the transaction. That's why I'm a firm believer, and nothing against anybody that does it solo, transaction coordinators are such a big part of our business nowadays.
Can we get a hashtag Lisa Progar?
I think they are very beneficial to anybody's growth and their business. No matter if you sell 10 houses a year or 500 houses a year.
That is a great point, Weatherman, and I should have written that down. Without having somebody like Lisa in our system to manage that process, there's so many things that even great people could forget. People constantly forget. Hey, man, Stephen Weathers, how are you typing all this stuff in here? John Giovanetti, even the transaction that goes smooth end up having issues at the end. He's exactly right. We've had smooth transactions and I think John does a lot of new construction. He probably experiences that all the time. But I see smooth transaction, then something hits us that we weren't forecasting.
Well, let's look at it this way. Let's say I got $250,000 in $100 bills on this table. Mm-hmm. And I say, Tommy, put it in this garbage bag, and I want you to drive it all the way.
Hold on. Are we even live?
Are we live?
We got wireless connection. I can't read it anymore. Just spin it. There it goes. You're back live.
Okay. We're back now.
Let's just break it down to a simple thing. So let's just say I give Tommy $400,000 in cash money in a Kroger bag. And I say, Tommy, hey, if you don't mind, take this money and drive it over on the other side of Auburn Town and deliver it to so-and-so, and then that way this deal's done. How much things could go wrong between here and there? How nervous are you going to be? Am I going to lose the money? Is something going to happen? Are they going to be there when I get there? What am I going to do? So what we're saying is there's a lot of money at risk. And so anytime you're playing around with somebody's livelihood and what they work hard for and what the American dream is to own your own home, there's a lot of emotions that can go involved, and it could get sideways just like that over little bitty things, because it's not the little thing. It could be a bad light, a light in the house that's messed up. And really what you're doing, you're just scared because you're fixing to take on one of the biggest expenses for the next 30 years, and then that light automatically causes an explosion. You didn't pay attention
I
to
listened
that.
to everything you said. Everything. I'm concentrating on what I'm going to say next.
Hey, you know who's on here?
Jason Lee
The
Gully.
arm wrestling realtor.
I bet you he ain't been training anymore. You think you could beat him?
Yeah, left-handed.
I don't know if Jason's still arm wrestling or not. My fourth reason why, and this is in no particular order, why people don't commit to agents before they go out and look. And I think realtors do a really bad job of staying in contact with their past clients. If we were really doing this right, we would have we would really work a database of 200 to 400 people, and we would stay in contact with them, and we would find out, hey, are you interested in a home? And they would tell us, and then we're right back engaged in their life. But we do a bad job of not staying engaged with clients. Therefore, they're free agents walking around, peeking in the windows, opening up doors, kicking the tires. They're doing all this just because we haven't stayed in contact with them. So what we do is we get out of the flow of their life. We miss that time of their life where they would use us. And I think real estate agents as a whole is pitiful at staying in contact with their past clients. And hey, I'm putting myself in that group. I should do a much better job of staying in contact with the people that I've worked with over the last 14 years. I have not done near enough of what I should.
That's probably the number one thing that most agents, 85% of agents, do not do to have repeat business, and that's why their business isn't as strong as it could be, myself included, is follow up and staying in contact.
Mm-hmm. We learned about that today, didn't
Sure
we?
did. From none other than Coach Burt. Guys, if you're looking for a coach in life, give Coach Burt a call.
CoachBurt.com. We had a great time today. Well, hey, I'm going to look at bringing that guy in here to us. Wouldn't you rather him come to us instead of go over there with 1,500 people wading through all that stuff? Coach Burt, we're going to get you here, man. Number 5, here is something that I have seen, and as I have become a more polished salesperson finally, I see this happen more and more and more and more. Number 5 reason why people do not hire an agent before they go out and start looking at houses is they make spontaneous decisions. Case in point, one day I went over to Puckett Station. I don't even think I told anybody I was going over there to look at stuff. I went by myself. I snuck out. I was getting out of doing something. I was working.
Something.
Yeah, I was sneaking out to do whatever. And me and Brittany Renee at the time did not live together. So I went over there, and I was just wanting to know what's coming up. I was talking to my buddy Glenn Street over there. Hey, Glenn, what's coming up for sale over here? That was a thought I had driving into work this morning, okay? Nobody knew about it. I think it was a Tuesday. I went over there right after the meeting. I go in, I'm looking at what's coming up in the new section. See, we put a little time out. We put a little distance because we feel better. Glenn, what do you have coming up next year? That's how it started.
Yeah.
Feel safe. Feel like, hey, you can't sell me, sucker, because I'm putting the distance between us. He showed me what was coming up. He's like, hey, Tommy. He's from Massachusetts. Hey, Tommy, short guy. I love Glen Street. Hey, Tommy, you ought to come over here and check out this house.
How does he say it again?
He said, hey,
I
Tommy,
cut your legs out from
you ought to
under
come
me.
over here and check out this house right here. So I'm like, well, where is it? Tommy, it's right across the street. I can get us in it. So I walked in that house. I'm like, man, this is exactly what I wanted. I didn't think about it. Before. I didn't have time to talk to somebody. If you'd have talked to me last night, I wouldn't have had any interest in doing it. So I look in there, and I'm like, man, this is nice. I like this house.
I want it.
I want it. So then I bring Brittany over there. Then I went back to my safe, my comfort zone. Hey, let's get away. Let me push you away. But hey, I really made that decision before I knew I made that decision. That right there is profound. I made that decision before I knew I made that decision. That's what happened.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of times buyers make a decision without even talking to anybody. What do they call that in the timeshare market, Blair Braswell? Do you ever get spontaneous buyers? Hey, what do you call those people on the streets?
Oh, body snatch.
Body snatchers. See, if you ever go to a place where they got a lot of timeshares, they've got these people in designated areas, and Blair refers to them as the body snatchers. They'll grab you up, they'll give you something free, and the next thing you know, you're sitting in a seminar and you
all the time.
and you bought a time. How often did you guys close spontaneous lookers?
Oh, well, everybody took a blood oath pack in the parking lot before they came in there. Says we ain't buying nothing.
Now let me ask you this, and not to put you on the spot about timeshares, because it does not matter if it was timeshare. It does not matter if it's a car or a house. Do you feel like people could make a better decision if they didn't make that spontaneous decision right then and were consulted somebody?
Could they make a better decision?
Could they make a better decision?
You'd have to define better, a more well-educated.
Yes, a gooder. Hey, a gooder decision.
Investor, you can make a better decision having some data.
A consultant. So I feel like I made a great decision. Me and Brittany made a great decision on that house. But I'm in the business. I feel like if I was going to go buy a car, I would be much better off to have a friend help me navigate through that process.
For the record,
Go ahead.
I told you not to buy your car. Remember that?
Remember that?
I remembered. I told you.
I remember you getting in there with me and you go, man, you go ahead and buy it.
No.
I should have.
I said, don't buy this car. Next thing I know,
Look at this.
Beep.
Look at my new ride, Weatherman. So what do you think about that, Weatherman? How often do people call us off a sign? Bam, it's done deal.
they like it. And that's why we like to strike while the iron's hot. It's what they call it. One of the biggest fears I think people have why they don't consult an agent is they're scared they can't buy, and they're embarrassed because they don't know what to do. So they don't want to call you up, start looking at houses, and can't buy. They just don't know. There's a lack of knowledge there that isn't there, which is ever more the reason to consult a professional.
So what we were talking about, Blair Braswell, before you came in here, 5 reasons why people don't hire an agent before. When I say hire, I believe you should interview agents, and you should pick one, and you should go to battle with one. If one of the things that happens if you don't hire an agent, you'll never have anybody that's protecting your interest.
Right.
Because if you're working with if somebody calls you off the sign, Stevie, and I want you to play along, if they call you off the sign and you don't know for certain where their loyalty is, you're probably by human nature going to try to talk them in to this house. It's your one shot. This is my one shot to talk this person into it. What kind of representation are you getting when you do that as a buyer?
So what he's saying is if you get an 867 lead and they call about a house that just come on the market, a lot of times the very first thing that agents say, hey, you better act fast. It won't be here tomorrow. Instead of literally hiring somebody and saying, hey, let's take our time, let's look around. If this house is for you, it's here. If not, let me show you 5 other ones that are similar. But that's what he's talking about. We don't get that on those.
You're not hiring somebody to protect you, to protect your loyalty. One of the biggest mistakes people will make is they make wrong decisions. They made the wrong decision after wrong decision after wrong decision. Jim Weaver said, I just looked right past that. B-I? I don't know who he's talking about.
It's Beaver. I think if you spell out the asterisk, it looks like Beaver, B-E-A-V, or maybe Buffalo. I can't.
Buffalo, I look right past that Buffalo.
There we go.
Well, hey, I think he agreed with you or me or somebody.
Yeah, one of
Said
them.
exactly. So, Blair, you got anything you'd like to add? Thank you for coming in here.
So let's ask this. So what is
boy.
so my question to you, since out of the two of us up here, you're in the top 3 of the smartest. In your opinion, what is the best way? So if you're a new home buyer, so all the new home buyers out there right now, if you're looking to buy or sell, what is the best way to find agents to interview? Because, hey, what would be
Well,
a
I think
source?
most people, and hey, I didn't. Jim said he looked right past that bullshit. He clarified that.
Okay.
So
Thank you, Jim.
I like Jim. Hey, Jim's real.
But yeah, but let's
There's
ask,
nothing.
but
People
I
are
know,
scared
but
to be
let's
real
ask, but
on
let's
social
ask
media.
this. So
I like it.
if I'm
Hey,
brand new, if I move here from Tuscaloosa and I move to Murfreesboro, I don't know anybody. How do I find 3 agents to interview?
I think what I'm going to do first is probably get out, look at the area, and find an area that I like.
Okay.
I'm going to identify an area.
Okay.
And I think what most people do, I'm not saying I would do this because I don't know. I've never moved off and done anything like that. But I think most people are going to go to Google. I think they're going to go and they're going to look at websites. They're going to start like that. I'm not saying that they're right.
Right.
I think they're going to. I think 90% of people, 91% of people, are going to look online, and then they're going to. They don't know this, but they're looking, and somehow, some way, I think. Here's what I think, Kathleen. I could be wrong, Stevie. I think whenever you're logged into your Google, I think whenever you click onto something, I think somehow people are getting your information without even giving them information.
I like that guy right there.
Derek,
I like
start
it.
with GT. Hey, Derek, God, we love you. Hey, Jim Weaver, if you need help, if we could help you find an agent in Dallas, Texas, we know some people over there.
So one of the things, in my opinion, is probably call your local MTAR board if you're new, and then ask them, somebody that's been in the business for a while, somebody has a great track record, ask them to give you a list of agents. Better Business Bureau may be one.
Well, here's what Jim's saying. I agree
Okay.
with what he said. I'm making connections in Dallas for people that have been there and looking at their recommendations as a first step. So I would try to find people that have made that have had success somehow
Yes.
there.
Yes.
I think having a referral is very powerful.
But you also know Murfreesboro is a transplant city now. You agree with that, right?
What is a transplant?
A transplant means people are moving here. Like Kathleen's a transplant. That means they're not from here. They didn't grow up here. People are moving here because of they love the area. They like the schools. It's growing. Nashville, same way. So, and so if you got people that don't know anything about anything, those are maybe people that really is wise to maybe interview 3 people.
But you know, let's take like the biggest agents out there, the George Weeks, Ann Hoax, Glenda Victory. They probably sell, some of them might sell 300 homes in a year.
Yeah.
So, or 300 transactions. And I think there's probably like 14,000 transactions. So at 14,000, they're 2% roughly of the market. You know, Bert was talking about you'll become more widely known in your marketplace at 13.4%. That just tells you how competitive, how hard it is to dominate. You got a question, sir?
Let's wait for wireless to come back.
Well, you're still live on your business.
Oh, hey,
Hi.
I'm sorry.
Hey, guys, hey,
So,
over here.
so I believe that just tells you how hard it is in such a commoditized market.
Yeah.
And when I say market, I'm talking about a market of real estate agents. How hard it is to dominate that. It's probably about to kick us off. Is it? Hey, is it? Are they both down?
This is still going.
The business, okay, business people. Look, you get the bonus. You get the
Hey, all
bonuses.
those guys got multiple.
Hey, it looks like
multiple
we're hey.
agents.
I wonder how we're.
Got 3 viewers now.
I wonder how we're going. Hey, flip over to Good Time Tommy. How are we got to fix this, Kathleen? You
Well,
tell
hey
me-
guys, without us stirring, we definitely want to talk to you about my baby, who I on Thursday nights, straight from the gut. Oh, that's your baby. My baby is November 22nd is my birthday party at Main Street. November 22nd. I personally invite you, your mama and them, and everybody out to my birthday party. I'm going to let GTT have the headline. We're going to call it, let's just say, the GTT Bash. But Far Cry will be there, guys. All jokes aside, it's been a huge success. Everybody has a great time. It's one night of the year that everybody gets to hang out, see people you haven't seen all year, and enjoy the night before you get to hang out with your family and friends. So mark that in your calendars. November 22nd. We're going to continue to market it, tell you about it. We'd love to see you there. And come definitely hang out with us. Far Cry is a fantastic band.
Did you hit post on there? Hand that. I wish I could answer Justin Meek's question on there. He had a great question. Are we still going on one of them?
Yes.
We're still
That
okay.
one, yeah.
So I wish you could tag Justin Meeks in this. He asked a great question.
What was it?
He said buyers like the freedom to change if they don't get the service they want.
That's good.
Signing a contract feels like the realtor distrusts the buyer. Why can't there be a basic handshake agreement?
Ooh.
Throw me that phone.
Hey, I agree with Justin because I don't sign buyer's reps because, and this is what I learned from Coach Burt. So, Coach Burt, here's your plug. At the end of the day, whenever we do business,
Oh, man.
we either work together or we don't work together. So, Justin, that's a great thing. It ought to be a handshake, and you can do the transaction to get along or you don't. And I love what Coach Burt said a long time ago, that you want to work with people that want to work with you.
Well, here's how I feel about it. And I really feel like people don't even have a handshake agreement because it really, to me, it's no different if it's a handshake agreement or if it's a written agreement. But a lot of times the acknowledgement of we're working together is usually not even met. We don't even usually say, hey, are we working together? Justin, if you sign a contract with me, it's only as good as we're both happy.
Yeah.
If one of us aren't happy, it ain't going to work out. So.
And we're so fast paced right now too, and that's what makes it really difficult. We are in a very fast paced market right now.
Mm-hmm. We got.
Viewers are growing.
Are people over here on that one?
They
How many are we
kicked
at?
over. Hey, what about you baby tomorrow night?
Hey everybody, my baby along with Brittany Renee every Thursday night we do Straight from the Gut. Don't know exactly what it's going to be, but it's usually going to be. I talked about it Monday night. I forgot what it was. Oh, you got about choosing happiness. Are you demanding happiness in your life?
Well, our best friend Derek Godwin has now joined us on your business.
Derek,
He's over here. Hey, they can't keep us down. So Thursday night, 8 o'clock, Straight from the Gut, asking this question: are you demanding your own personal happiness? And back to Weatherman's party, November 22nd. Derek Godwin, I know you're going to be in Florida in the Keys, but everybody else, I need you there to come out and support the Weatherman for his 35th birthday. He's going to party like it's 1997. So, everybody, I'm losing my voice again. So, y'all have a great day. Tomorrow night, Straight from the Gut, Thomas C. Davidson, and don't forget about that party. Don't forget about that bash. Thank you, Stevie C. Have a great one. See you soon.
See you.